with a YouTube Hall of Fame nominee edition of Near Mint Musings. And I wanted to make this video, gosh, ever since the announcement came out that we could make a nomination video, but I have been extremely busy. Wanted to put on my clever creative cap and come up with a neat video that many of you have this year and have done in the past. But time is of the essence, and I wanted to make sure I got this video out before the weekend because I'll be leaving town, and I know the deadline is soon upon us. So, a couple of points of business before I get into my nominations. The first off is I want to publicly thank Mike, Baseball Commish, for your yeoman's efforts in the past few years of running this crazy wild ship, and I appreciate all of the positivity that you've kept throughout the years of, well, you're a commish, so you take the good with the bad, but at the end of the day, I think we all can appreciate you running the ship. And wanted to personally thank Jake, Legends Never Die, for taking the reins and running with it. And that segues into my second point I wanted to bring up, and that was when he first made his video and made the announcements of these changes, which I 100% agree with, but I was quick to comment on my disappointment, and I wanted to make sure, and I've talked to Jake about this since. There was no issues at all. I mean, Jake is an amazing dude, and we have become fast friends. But I wanted to make sure that the disappointment wasn't in the fact that the rules were changed. The disappointment was in the fact that I just couldn't vote for at least 7 channels that I was waiting to publicly appreciate. All about the appreciation on the channel, and wasn't able to. So the disappointment came from that. I think I echo the words of Don's Field of Dreams, Baseball Cards, sorry. He made a video for his nominations, and he said pretty much some more similar, but in a more eloquent way. So before I get into my nominations, and I'm going to have just four nominations, I wanted to give honorable mentions to the channels that I would have voted for, because, at least for me personally, I wanted to get their names out there to let them know that this past year in 2021, I really appreciated your channels. Those channels are Eric, The Card Closet, James, Elite Hunters, Terry, TJ Mac Vintage, Lou at Lou Rock TV. Can you say his channel without saying that voice? I don't know. I haven't tried. Let's see, who else do I have? Jesse, Think Blue 77. Nina S. And the last one I wanted to recognize is Victor over at the Rookie Card Specialist. Those were 7 channels that I watched regularly, tried to comment. I don't always comment as much as I want to or should, because a lot of times I watch them on my TV at night and don't comment right away. So that's my lame excuse, but I try to comment when I watch your videos. But let you know, I watch your videos all the time, and I appreciate you guys. Okay, that being said, on to my 4 nominations for the YouTube Hall of Fame. The first one I want to nominate is my man George, Diamondyard SportsCards. Many of you are familiar with his channel, and just appreciate his enthusiasm, his knowledge, and just his fantastic collection. And a lot of those things are cliche when it comes to describing a channel, but he has the ability to interweave all of those things. So when he talks about his cards, you can tell he really is happy that he has that card, and he's happy to tell you why he's happy, and some stories behind the card. The story could be, how did he get it? The story could be about the player. The story could be about the card itself. I like a good story to go with the card. You know me, I'm not one of those, here's what I got, this is neat, thank you, cool, and then wash, rinse, repeat. George, I appreciate you, and I nominate you as well. Thank you. The next one is Bart at Barts Cards. And this is an interesting one because I really didn't get into his channel until this past year. And I realized the more I watched him, Bart the PSA guy, I can't remember if that's his official title anymore. But every time I watched his channel, it was like I wanted to just get a nice little glass of whiskey or a beer. Maybe it's because he always opened up his channel with a YouTubers, except this would be a Miller Lite, Miller High Life. Maybe it's because he's an Air Force guy, like my son. But I really just like his, he does mail days, but it goes beyond the here's what I picked up. It's like, here's the journey I took to get this card, or here's what I had, and maybe in the past I sold it, and now it's back in my collection. You kind of just, you're along for the ride with Bart when he shows his pickups, and he likes to also paint a broader picture and scope of what his goals are and what he's trying to accomplish. So I really, really enjoyed his videos this past year. So Bart, I nominate you. Next up is Oakland A's 915, my man Eric, and he's got an amazing 90s collection of Mark McGwire. So he keeps me firmly entrenched in the glory and spectacle of 90s inserts, the rarity, the beauty. And I've got to know Eric well over this past year. Side note, he's also a big Ty France supporter because his brother is really a big Ty France guy. Ty France is now on the Mariners. Ty France used to play in El Paso with the Chihuahuas, so there's that connection. He also played in my local minor league city, so it's cool when you go beyond the connection on the video to actually talk about things like that. So that kind of adds depth sometimes to these connections with these channels. And I just really appreciate Eric. He's a good dude. He is on my short list of guys I'd want to meet, have a beer with, and just talk whatever. So Eric, nominate you. And my last one, my fourth one, is Because I'm Carlos. Carlos. And he's an interesting channel because this is going to seem a little counterintuitive, but, and I'm saying it like this because I think this is how he talks to you. He's a very cerebral guy. And he goes like this a lot. And I didn't realize I was doing this. So I started talking to him about that. So Carlos, you are in my psyche. He's very cerebral. He talks about what the hobby's going through now. Not just what it's going through, but why is it going through it? Thinking about it, the economic standpoint, the nostalgia aspect of it, the what name you. His finger is firmly entrenched on the pulse of the hobby. He has weekly Friday night hobby talks. He does a lot of live chats. He does pickup mail days that he explains his ongoing process, why he has his card. And he's just a guy that I like to listen to because I like his thoughts. He collects a lot of cards that I have no interest in as far as having them myself, but I appreciate the passion, the reasoning behind his collecting, where he's at, where he's going, and also looking at all the noise and craziness of the hobby that it can be at times, and kind of bringing it into this funnel where he presents it to you in a very manageable and cerebral way. And I really appreciate that about him. So Carlos, you got my vote. So there you have it. Those are my nominees for the YouTube SportsCard Hall of Fame for this year. Again, I appreciate you, Jake, for taking this on. Appreciate y'all for watching. Appreciate all the channels that I nominated. Thank you for making content. This is not easy to keep this up for this long. So, but I appreciate you all. And thanks for all of you. Thanks to all of you for doing what you do and making this hobby so meaningful and a lot of fun. So until next time, peace.